Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling a huge shift in the modern workplace. You see, for the very first time in history, we've got 6 different generations all working together. So we're going to break down how you, as a leader, can turn all that complexity from a source of friction into a real, honest-to-goodness competitive advantage. That's right, 6 for the first time ever. Just let that sink in for a second. We have professionals who literally started their careers with Rolodexes and typewriters, and they're now working side by side with colleagues who basically grew up with virtual reality as a normal part of life. And this isn't just some passing trend, folks. This is the new normal. And this quote, it absolutely nails it. The real difference here isn't just about how old you are, it's about formation. It's about the unique economic, tech, and cultural soup that each generation grew up in, and how that shaped their fundamental views on everything from work and collaboration to just, basic communication. So if you're going to lead effectively across this pretty wide divide, we have to start by understanding those formative contexts. Our core expectations about what work is, they aren't random. They are a direct result of the world that we came of age in. Okay, let's break down 4 of the main generations you'll see out there. You can literally draw a straight line from the formative context column to the work style column. Baby boomers, shaped by a post-war economic boom, so they tend to value hierarchy and dedication. Now jump all the way down to Gen Z. They were formed by social and climate crises, and that leads them to value flexibility and entrepreneurship. It's almost like each generation is running on a totally different operating system, programmed by their own unique life experiences. And this is the most important thing to remember. These aren't character flaws. They're just reflections of context. That super formal email a boomer sends might seem professional to them, but to a Gen Z colleague, it could feel kind of slow and inefficient. A request for more flexibility might seem totally reasonable to one person, but look like a lack of commitment to another. It really all comes down to the lens of experience you're looking through. So you might be wondering what actually happens when all these different perspectives collide in the real world. Well, without a shared understanding, friction isn't just possible, it's practically guaranteed. As a leader, you're constantly trying to balance this crazy seesaw. On one side, you've got a huge chunk of your workforce, 75% of them, saying they want more stability. But on the other side, you have executives who need the organization to be agile and quick. And at the same time, you've got this other tension between valuing predictable things, like years of experience, versus the 2/3 of workers who are saying, hey, value me for my skills and what I can do. And this tension shows up in those little moments we've all felt, right? That awkward silence after a younger employee throws out a radical new idea, or that frustration when a project just stalls out because everyone's talking past each other. It's almost never personal, it's simply a collision of different worldviews. But, and this is a big but, here's the triumph. When you get this right, the results are just undeniable. A whopping 43% of decision makers report that their multi-generational teams consistently get better results than teams made up of just one generation. So this isn't just some feel-good, let's all get along idea, it's a real performance driver. But why? Well, because when you harness it, you're creating an incredibly powerful strategic asset. I like to think of it like a tree. You've got the deep, strong roots of institutional memory and experience from your senior employees, combined with the fresh growth and new ideas from your younger ones. That blend leads to way more innovation and a much deeper understanding of your actual customer base. So, how do we get there? How do we make this happen? Well, the leader's role here isn't to be a referee, picking sides in generational debates. It's to be a translator. Your job is to create clarity where assumptions are running wild and to build bridges between these different worlds. One of the absolute most effective strategies out there is something called reverse mentoring. The concept is simple, but it's really powerful. You have a junior employee mentor a senior leader. Usually it's on things like new tech, social media trends, or just different ways of communicating. This is a true win-win-win. The senior leader gets a direct line to fresh perspectives, the junior mentor gets invaluable leadership experience and visibility, and the organization as a whole, it breaks down silos and speeds up knowledge sharing. Big companies like Procter & Gamble and Salesforce have used this to create some incredible synergy. All right, another really powerful strategy is intentional team design. So instead of just letting teams form however they form, leaders need to be deliberate about it. And they are, in fact, 83% of decision makers are already planning to do exactly this. By pairing novices with experts, you make sure that those fresh ideas are grounded in deep experience, and that creates truly resilient, powerful teams. The key for any leader is to always remember this. Your goal is not to make everybody the same. It's to listen past the behavior to really understand the context that shaped it. And from there, you can start to adopt your own approach to build clarity and mutual respect. Ultimately, this isn't some problem that you need to fix. It's just the new permanent reality of work. So the path forward is to build a culture that doesn't just tolerate generational diversity, but actually uses it to build real depth. A culture of depth. It's built on curiosity, not on judgment. It's a culture that recognizes that, yeah, experience provides stability and it tempers urgency, but innovation is what prevents stagnation. It's understanding that you absolutely need both of those things to thrive. And that brings us to the final crucial question for every single one of us. How can we use our own unique perspective to strengthen our teams instead of dividing them? By seeing our own view as just one important piece of a much larger puzzle, we can turn the most diverse workforce in history from a challenge into our greatest collective strength.